3, 2, 1. And welcome everybody back to the My Shot of Life podcast. Coming at you in Morrisville, North Carolina. New location, new podcast.
New season.
New
us.
Same podcast. One of the hosts, Steven here, and our pleasant other, whatever you want to call him.
My name is Victor.
Guy. What was that? I thought you had another nickname.
Leon.
Yeah. So which one do you want to go by for this season?
It's true. Season 2, Episode 2. My Shot of Life. Victor. Le Victor.
Terrible.
Le Victor.
So, this episode is going to be a rehash of last year's episode in the sense that we're gonna go back over our, New Year's resolutions. This is being filmed and recorded on New Year's Eve, so 2018. We get to crap all over our goals from last year. Reiterate how we thought it was absurd to begin with, even though it can be beneficial. We didn't utilize that new year to become new people, I don't think. You change.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, I will.
We do want to apologize for Season 2, Episode 1.
Episode 1 was rough, man.
We got the audio levels a little bit wrong. They sounded fine in the headphones, and then when we went back and listened, it wasn't the greatest product in the world, but we wanted to put something out for you for the Christmas holiday, so we released that, and sorry for blowing out your eardrums.
Yeah, we tried to mitigate that in the post-editing, but we had to release it, whatever way we could.
That's life, baby.
And it's my life, and your life, and my shot of life.
My shot of bourbon.
I gotta ask real quick, Vic, do you have rubber duckies in your pocket? Because all I hear is squeaking.
No, but I had to adjust my chair in order to not squeak.
I should have got you a seatbelt so you could be strapped in.
Strapped in for this episode.
All right, so since we're throwing back the old New Year's resolution, I actually can't even remember what we drank that episode last year.
Show notes are non-existent for episode 2 last year.
Because we did the podcast after New Year's. But hey, we got an episode here we're ready to do, and to commemorate a great season 1 and to look forward to a good season 2 into the 2019 year. We have the Blanton's Original Single Barrel Bourbon Whiskey. If you're seeing it on the YouTubes right here, one of our highlights last season.
Yeah, originally consumed on the Whose Tribe Is It Anyway?
Oh yeah, that was a great
episode about tribalism, which I believe was like episode 4 of season 1.
Yeah, so we started off with some good stuff very early in the process.
Definitely. And last year, just to recap, we had Terrapin Recreational Session Ale. For the New Year, New Me podcast. Which
I have that in the fridge, actually.
Debuted in season 1. Still our second rated craft beer.
I was almost considering just pulling those out for this episode, but I didn't realize that was our drink of choice. So
it was an excellent beer.
Hey, if we run out of bourbon, which I don't think we will, but if we do, we got some backup beers in the fridge that we can pull out some of that session IPA.
It's a sexy can, too.
All right, to begin today's episode, I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit of this whiskey. Oh, my God.
Just to probe a little bit here and set you up, we've got Blanton's on tap for our bourbon today. We will be having a discussion on New Year's resolutions, their purposes, a recap of our prior year New Year's resolutions, as well as what we plan on for the upcoming 2019. We would love to hear from you guys as well on what some of your creative and exciting New Year's resolutions are. Also, today we will be debuting Idioms with Idiots, which is a segment where we will give you the origin story and meaning behind an idiom of sorts, which is kind of a phrase that has developed over time in the English language. For example...
What's the one you got today, Vic, or do you want to just cover that later on?
Then we can do it right now, just to give you an idea of what you're looking at here. one of my favorite ones right here. Never happens to me personally, but to get bent out of shape. You know, the phrase "to get bent out of shape" is to get upset about something.
So that's what we're going to be covering today?
That's what we're going to look at later.
All right. Got the whiskey poured here.
We're the idiots, by the way.
Oh.
If that wasn't clear already.
I thought we were talking about the listeners.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
All right. Smells good. It smells like it sounds like a helicopter in the background.
It does just a little bit.
But yeah, I'll tap that up a little bit. Get a little sip.
Cheers to 2019.
And always smooth. So, Vic, we talked about New Year's resolutions last year. Has your opinion changed at all on whether or not they're actually beneficial? Another year, another New Year's resolution that probably lasted 2 months.
Hey. Kind of. I mean, it wasn't 2 months. It might have been a little more than that. I would say I hit it really hard early on in the year. And then some things kind of came up and got in the way.
I think that seems to be the recurring theme, is that.
But I wouldn't say I failed, you know?
One of your goals was to read more books, right?
Definitely got that off. And when I couldn't read the books, I couldn't dedicate the time to reading, I went the audiobook route and still tried to accomplish my goal that way. So
yeah, that's pretty
worked.
That's pretty beneficial. Do you I guess whenever you're going through the audiobook phase, do you feel like you're not really consuming it the same way that you would if you were reading it? Because you're more susceptible to kind of just like letting it go one way without the other, and that happens when you're reading too, right? Like you're reading and you're kind of maybe you're dozing off, and then you're reading pages and you're like, I'm not even comprehending what's going on.
Right.
But I feel like it's probably a little bit easier whenever you're listening that you just doze out.
I mean, I stayed pretty focused. A lot of times I had, some clients where I was in the car for a good amount of time during the day, an hour commute there, an hour commute back, and so was able to knock out some time there and really focus. I mean, there are times that happens to everybody with, you're in the car and you kind of forget how you got somewhere.
Absolutely.
So, you get so engrossed in the book, the one specifically, there were two actually, Thinking Fast and Slow, and then also 12 Rules for Life were two
Great
books that
book.
I audiobooked this year. And that was another sub goal of mine, was to read more nonfiction. So get a little more beneficial.
Educated.
Yeah, a little more of a beneficial read. But
I'm still trying to figure out which, I guess, like how, because nonfiction kind of spreads out. I mean, just like with fiction, it has its own like subcategories between self-help and history and education. I have a hard time figuring out what to read or listen to kind of get outside of my comfort zone, if that makes sense. Like there's like the 12 Rules for Life. I followed Dr. Peterson around a little bit. We went to a lecture of his during the year, and so that's an obvious choice. Like I was very excited, I guess, to read a book like his, even if it was considered self-help. But I don't know, I have a hard time locating and figuring out who is a good author or who is a good public figure in the limelight right now who has something that may be differing from whatever my expectation might be, or like what I might be favoring, I guess. So I don't know, like Jonathan Haidt. Have you heard of him?
Nope.
Really? Okay, so he has a book that just came out that was really I've heard podcasts about him, like talking with something Ezra Klein from Vice, maybe something like that. And I'm not a big Vice person because they seem a little bit they're big into their opinion, but I don't know. So Ezra Klein and Jonathan Haidt have a discussion about his book, and it's just like society's culture right now through the lens of like of colleges, universities, and that's kind of gotten a little bit overplayed now, but it was just an interesting listen. But that's again, like I don't think that's like branching out too far out of my comfort zone. I want to get something that challenges my beliefs in a way that I have to either not rationalize, but I want to read something that I want to see if it threatens or encourages my ability to change my opinion, I guess, if that makes sense. Not really doing my best way of explaining this. You know what I mean?
I just want to be more informed.
Well, yeah,
as opposed to...
but I don't. I guess I want there to be a difference in what I believe currently to see if what I believe holds true. You know what I mean? Like if my current view on life is sustains like barrage.
The only way to challenge that is with more information. To hit real quick, Jonathan Haidt, Haidt, if I have that correct.
Yep, that's right.
Just tweeted about New Year's resolutions. You ready for this one?
Oh, wow.
New Year's resolutions
Listen to the Mashallah
for
podcast?
a world choking on outrage. I will give less offense, i.e. be more polite. I will take less offense, i.e. give others the benefit of the doubt. I will pass on less offense, i.e. not be the sort of retweeter Russian trolls want me to be.
Wow.
All quality resolutions, if I do say so myself.
That is not Jonathan Haidt. I mean, who you put up probably is. I'm not finding the right person, but...
The Coddling of America.
That's what it is, yeah.
Is that his book?
Is it The American Mind?
Oh,
The Coddling of the American Mind.
Cut off. Hold on a second.
So based off of what I heard him talking about, he
Mind.
seems like a really good guy.
Add that to my list for this year.
I got it on, when you sign up for Amazon, they encourage you to subscribe to various other things, one of them being Audible, since Amazon bought Audible out. I had these stacks of Audible credits that I'd never used.
Yeah, they add up.
So frustrating because I don't know, I just never know what books to have. And I like fiction as in like watching movies. I don't like imagination's fine for me, but I don't want to waste my time reading a book whenever I could. That's fiction when I can just watch the movie. But when it comes to nonfiction, like I'm very interested in reading the book or listening to someone discuss it. So I don't know. It's really hard to figure out what's good out there. So if you guys have any recommendations out there in YouTube land or podcast realm, hit us up. Let us know what is your favorite book you're looking forward to in 2019. Give us a shout because we need some stuff to read. We're trying to get educated over here. We're getting old, Vic.
We sure do. So would you say that's another one? I mean, I think last year I had 10 books as a goal, 3 nonfiction, which was a lot for me, and then 7 fiction. I think ultimately I made it to 10. Had some short stories thrown in there. Probably made it past 10. I think I read like 1 or 2 poetry books, which may or may not count, just to kind of get an idea of what it's like. I can't remember the name of it, but it's James Franco's poetry book.
Was it good?
Directing Herbert White or something.
Is it a comedy?
Like that. I don't know. I didn't understand anything that I read, to be honest with you. You know how people like try to be deep.
He definitely looks like he tries to be deep.
I don't get it sometimes. Anyway, so I think this year I'm going to keep it pretty consistent. It was a hectic and busy year for me. To be able to find the time to listen to or read 10 books was a pretty solid goal for me.
I think. How big were you? How big? Blah, blah,
how
blah.
big were the books?
How big were the books? I like
Average.
how you know what my
average size.
You've learned, I guess, how to
I don't know,
interpret
between like 200 and 400 pages probably.
Yeah, okay, that's reasonable.
Thinking Fast and Slow was probably the longest one, but I audibled that and it was, gosh, I don't know, 24 hours, maybe 30 hours of listening.
Okay.
12 Rules for Life. I think I listened to
I feel like that's a pretty
twice.
big book.
It was hefty. It was probably like 20 or 19 hours, something like that. Nothing crazy.
Now, what do you think? Have you considered getting his other book,
Serenaded?
Maps from
have
You?
it.
That's a long book, dude.
Audio book.
That's
And I've made it about halfway through that.
Is it 30 hours?
Probably.
It's probably more than that. It's a big book. I thought about buying it, but well, I'm creating havoc over here with the chair and the door. And
so, as we say in the CPA land, I'm going to go ahead and roll that one forward. And,
putting that on the back burner.
Putting that back on the docket. I mean, I accomplished it this year.
I think it's a good goal, man.
I
reading.
definitely learned, which is positive. And on top of learning, I also was able to kind of just escape reality, I guess, on some occasions. Thought about rereading the Harry Potter series, but I decided instead to continue trudging along through the Magicians series. Lev Grossman.
Do you still watch that show?
I love that show, man.
Oh, God. It looks so corny.
It's very corny.
Very corny.
I've never been more pissed off at, like, TV show characters for the decisions that they make, you know? It's like, in order to keep the story going, they make the stupid decisions, and so I get it. And I watch it for the storyline and how entertaining it is, but there are a lot of attractive characters on that show too. Anyway,
I think
which leads me into another resolution.
What's that?
Watch less Netflix.
Really? Well, that's sad because I'm on the other side. Me and my brother had a Christmas Day, not resolution, but agreement where he's a huge Friends guy. Like he had gotten, the pop figures that you have in your room.
Sure do.
He got a Joey and a Rachel pop figure in his stocking. And he's a very, I'd say he's a pretty jockey guy.
Zach,
yeah. And he got that in his stocking, and this dude loves Friends. He's like, there's always something, like some scenario in real life where Friends covers it. And I tried to quote like The Office one time. And he was like, I never watched any of The Office, like past whatever season or past a couple episodes. I was like, dude, I'll watch every episode of Friends if you watch every episode of The Office, which is going to be a struggle because the last 2 seasons of The Office are pretty bad.
That's what I'm struggling through right now. But
there's some gold in
2018. Well, I guess when I finish The Office again. I will have watched The Office 2 full times through in 2018, and I've only got half a season left there. We're still getting rid of Robert California, so.
Oh man, that was a rough season.
That's about it. I rewatched Parks and Rec as well in 2018.
Parks and T-Rex?
For the third time, not 3 times in 2018, but for the third time through, I have watched Parks and Rec. And so I'm eliminating those from my Netflix queue. If I sit down to watch Netflix, it's got to be something new where I can, take stuff away from. Maybe we can talk about on the show, or just something new and exciting for entertainment purposes.
If we're talking about new and exciting shows, a show that I had never heard of until yesterday, it's called You, and it's on Netflix.
That definitely popped up.
Have you heard about that? And I encourage anybody out there.
Is that the Stalker one?
It's the Stalker one.
All
it's
right.
really good, dude. We just started watching it Sunday morning. I woke up, took the dog out at Aaron's parents' place, went downstairs, and then she met me down there, and we were going to watch something because everybody sleeps in, so we were already up. She picked out the show called You, and it's got the guy from what's the one where John Tucker Must Die? His brother. Do you remember that movie? You don't remember John Tucker
I
Must
remember
Die?
the movie.
Okay.
You know how bad I am with people's names.
I couldn't tell you his name. If you've ever seen Gossip Girl, this is how Aaron knows him. He is the Gossip Girl from the show Gossip Girl. I guess there's a blog, and he's the guy who writes the blog. So he's that character. Super skinny, but a really good-looking guy. And in this show, he's a bookstore owner, very educated, very eloquent, careful with his words, but he's kind of like a psychopath. And that's how the season starts. Him meeting a girl at the bookstore, having a a meet cute, I guess, and then him stalking her, and it is so good. Just made it through the second episode this morning, and very excited to watch the rest of that. There's only 10 episodes, but about an hour apiece. So I encourage anybody who's out there looking for a new TV show, who needs a little bit of suspense in their life, that's go to for sure.
Fair. Definitely was like a 96% in my.
Oh, was it really?
You would like this thing or match.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll throw that on there. But like I said, overall, and other than my January tradition of rewatching the Death Note anime.
Are they making another movie for that?
That's the rumor. I don't know who they're going to get to helm the director's chair, and I don't know who's going to be in it or which direction they're going to go with it. But as you know, it ended kind of not cliffhangery, but we know the main character makes his way out of the mess that he created. Spoilers, and then the Death
25-year-old TV show
still exists. And so that opens it up, and as most people who have seen the anime know, that there are the 2 seasons there.
Yes.
Well,
very
not
different.
Really. There's 37 episodes, but
you can
essentially
clearly tell
split,
the line between the two.
When one of the main characters takes a back seat, if you will, and is replaced. So, so they can go in that direction and continue on the source material, or they can do something completely different. Who knows? But anyway, I'm gonna rewatch the anime. It's super quick. The episodes are like 21, 22 minutes long. There's 37 of them. You can plunge that in a weekend. I'll probably stretch it out over the course of have it on in the background while I'm working late during busy season coming up. Cool. So we've covered
employers out there.
We've covered read and watch, right?
Exercise. That was one that we may have both had. Probably Eating Healthy too was like another one that was on there. I can safely say that the past week and a half has not been the most the best most healthy decisions were made, I guess.
I don't think that happens for anybody around this time of year.
That's true. But I think the issue is that, and I don't know how long you were at your parents' house. I felt like you were there for just a few days.
Just a few days, yeah.
I was on the road for a week and a half, maybe just a little over a week, and it's always, all the time, just tons of food. Depending on where you're at, a certain family likes to drink more than others, and then so you're encouraged to get involved and eat a lot of food and then also drink with them. And, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I came home last night, man, and I thought I was just ready to give up. I felt like I needed to run 20 miles just to get back to where I started. It was just a rough...
You gonna do it?
20 miles.
So is there a particular mode of exercise that you plan on taking up this year?
Well, I have a bike now, so that's going to be something new. I want to see what it's like to bike to work, if that's even possible.
It's possible.
Oh, yeah, it is possible, but depending on the weather, you know how it is. You're susceptible to, catastrophe whenever you are carrying a laptop to work, and, if it happens to rain, especially in North Carolina weather, you really don't know what to expect in the January through March months. I mean, we've had snow all the way through March before, so could be very interesting. What about you? Are you going to power lift? Are you going to run? Get back into cardio?
I'm probably going to, do a healthy combination of everything as usual. I've switched out of a certain workout routine and will be bro setting this year, I think, or at least for the first 6 months.
Excuse me?
For those who are not familiar with bro setting, it is the combination in exercise days of chest and tries, back and bis, legs and shoulders.
3 days a week?
6 days a week.
6 days a week. That's too
Yeah.
much working out, man.
So, Monday is chest and tries, Tuesday back and bis, Wednesday legs and shoulders.
So why not do Sunday?
Repeat. Sunday's off day to relax. Although I'll probably shift it because bowling league is Monday nights, so I don't normally have time to go to.
Yes, so start Tuesday and Sunday.
Yeah, so start Tuesday and Sunday.
Well,
Take
the
Mondays
last thing
off.
you want to do is do the same day that everybody's going to do everything.
That's also true. Everybody
So,
does chest
FYI,
day Monday.
FYI, everybody out there, some people do
But,
chest day. Well, most people do it Monday, and then some people do it 3 times a week. So
And I also signed up for another half marathon, which after I ran my last one, I said I would never do again, but here I am. It was super cheap. I got the week after I had run in a marathon relay, I got an email that was like, hey, sign up for next year's half marathon, and it's super cheap. So it was like $40 for the bib. And so I'm all signed up and ready to go. Next year's Oak City half marathon, I guess is what it's called.
it'll be pretty exciting. How many miles is that?
13.1.
13.1,
It is
okay.
a half marathon. So I've done it once before, and I finished just under 2 hours. I think if I put a little more effort into training this year, I can definitely beat an hour and 50
Really?
minutes.
Just
and-
under 2 hours?
Yeah.
That's really fast. Wait,
That's
that's a
really
half
not
marathon.
that
Okay, I was
fast.
thinking.
Yeah.
But that's still pretty good. That's like, what, 11 minutes per mile?
It's less. I think it's 9-ish.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
That's pretty
little over
good.
9, which was kind of my goal was just to break 2 hours, and my knees hurt really bad like the last 2 miles, but you power through and you make it happen. So this year, doing it again next November.
Dude, do the fun run, the color run, the one where they throw the paint on each other. That'd be cool.
And breathe it into your lungs and suffocate and die.
Yeah, and then do the Krispy Kreme challenge.
Crispy. That is one.
We could do a My
I
Shop
forget
Live.
about it every
Krispy Kreme.
year. It happens in February.
Yeah,
And
let's
so I'm always
keep it on the docket.
doing
It's
stuff.
probably like $40 now.
Yeah, it's expensive, and it sells out super fast.
Yeah. But we'll keep that in mind for all the viewers out there who are interested. Maybe we'll have a Patreon account. Fund us. Watch us throw up and stuff.
That would be exciting.
Cool. Yeah, well, I'll put one of those GoPros on my head, and then I'll be
good.
probably crying the entire time because I can't handle running that much.
No, the running would be fine. It's only 2.5 miles, and then
And then 2.5
12
miles with
donuts, and then
4
2.5
pounds of
miles.
donuts in your stomach.
I don't know what a good strategy would be. I'd probably end up,
Smash it.
running real hard the first 2.5, grab my dozen donuts, and then jog and eat on the way back.
Makes me sick
probably.
thinking about mashing 6 donuts together and then just taking a bite out of it.
I would need milk, which is not good for running, but I don't know, man.
Just Kobayashi it, dude. Just dump it
Don't
in
get
water.
Don't get in water.
Well, nothing else. Yoga.
Nah, I tried that last year. That was one of the things that definitely didn't quite make it as a
Yeah.
resolution for me to
It's
do
tough
more
to have
yoga.
that time. Meditation would be
Uh,
very nice to have if you could manage that in your schedule.
Yeah, I've been working on clearing my mind. It doesn't work very well because what
Is it
happens?
because you're trying too hard?
It's
You're
a
supposed to let it
cycle.
happen.
I think so. It's a cycle of hey, I'm feeling super anxious. I need to calm down, and then thinking about trying to calm down makes
Yeah.
me more anxious.
Yeah, I was listening to
It's
something last
miserable.
night about that, where those who can let it go, because I think me and you might have a problem where we want to be in control of the situation, and so whenever you're trying to do something like meditation, you want to try to, like you said, calm yourself down or try to relax, and that's part of the problem is that you're trying to relax instead of just relaxing.
Maybe be more patient
Yeah,
as a part of that, because
Yeah.
what triggers the anxiety is
it's not happening.
I'm not relaxing immediately.
Yeah,
So
that's an issue.
be more patient, definitely in there. Relax more. Rely on natural remedies a little
CBD
bit more
oil
this
some more?
year.
You're
Definitely.
still doing that, right?
I did, and I got the full spectrum this time around, up the milligram dosage, and I haven't really been
Is
using
20
it too much.
milligrams?
Oddly enough, since I've been off of work, I've been significantly more relaxed.
Surprise.
Weird how that works. So I haven't been using it as much, but I got the 750 milligrams
Oh.
full spectrum.
Is it 750
Um,
for the entire bottle? Or that's
That's per.
maybe I have
stopper.
500 then.
Um,
You took a full stopper?
I normally do one full
Oh, wow.
stopper. Yeah.
I did like half.
And it is It was expensive, dude. It was like $107 for the bottle.
For one, how big is the bottle?
The regular size.
A 30-day vial?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see if I end up
Tax money.
If I end up doing half of a serving, that'll be, or half of a stopper, that'll be just fine. But I recommend, that's the one big thing that,
it's very relaxing.
Yeah, I think.
And I don't know if it's a placebo effect or not, but
even if it is, I don't care because it works. I don't care.
Sure, yeah.
Someone can give me freaking sugar and I'll be fine. Totally fine.
Yeah,
but
it's a pretty neat thing. I'm glad we started to legalize that. And I saw that North Carolina is putting the legalization of marijuana in its consideration for like a topic in 2019. So
right on. That's what we get for getting some Dems in the House and in control of the state here. So a little more progress.
Some of the fraud that was going on. You hear about that, like picking up some of the absentee ballots on the Republican side?
I think they still haven't called one of the races.
Yeah.
So classic North Carolina.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year. For those who, which side you I guess stand on the political aisle on relation to legalization of marijuana. It's a good discussion to have about whether the benefits of it, and even if it's not marijuana in itself, the CBD has been very beneficial to myself and others in my family who are very against. Or some people who I wouldn't say who are just against marijuana in general because of what they've seen certain people abuse it, But I know people who take it now, the CBD oil, because that's just the extract of the beneficial. Yeah, the beneficial. Can't say the word.
Beneficial.
Yeah, the
cannabinoids.
They're getting the benefits of the cannabis without the THC
cannabinoids
consequence. So yeah, it's a positive thing, and maybe we'll do something good with it.
Any other big resolutions for this year? Do you have...
For this year, I think, we've talked about this channel and kind of getting it off the ground a little bit more. I've tried to commit myself more into exploring how to edit and whatnot. So it'll be an interesting year for seeing if we can get some things off the ground, some projects that we've discussed. So that'll be big. That's something I really want to do, and I just hope we have time on the side to take care of that. So that'll be my big project for the year. I think still I have on my list of things is trying to learn the piano a little bit. So I definitely have tons of things I want to do. It's just a matter of laying out my time and taking care of it. So
prioritizing and making time, obviously, and you've got. Unlike me, you've got two schedules to kind of schedule around.
And we've
sometimes.
talked about how life has gotten in the way, and not in a negative way. It's just you can't really plan out, even with our resolutions. That's something we can all take home, is that we have an expectation of, or even a goal we set, and it doesn't come to fruition always. But keep the goal in the back of your head, Like
write it down.
Yeah, write it down.
I do need to
motivate
update
yourself.
my goal board at home. I've had on there for how many years now to finally get a pistol and do a concealed carry course.
A Glock?
Probably not a Glock. Probably a Smith & Wesson.
Well, make sure whenever you go to the shooting range, make sure you hold the gun properly. Or
Never.
else you're gonna come home with a nice
hold
little
the gun properly.
boo-boo like I did.
But yeah, in all honesty, it's just a financial thing for me now. Would I rather, spend the $100 or so on the course and then a couple $100 on a handgun, as opposed to spending that money elsewhere? And I think that's kind of where I'm at now. Is definitely makes a lot more sense to spend it elsewhere. So that's what I'm gonna do.
For those who are watching the footage, we just want to make sure the video camera was still recording.
It's true.
Last week we recorded in 4K, and it only recorded 7 minutes of the conversation, so...
Great 7 minutes, but
yeah,
not quite what we wanted. Yeah, I don't know.
So, do you think you succeeded pretty effectively in your goals from last year, or do you think that Or do you think it's good to have like multiple goals so that you can fall back on one?
So you can fail at some of them.
Yeah,
I think
make them
some of them are like
obtainable.
like I said with the pistol and concealed carry. It's more of a luxury goal. You know, if I have the extra cash sitting around and the extra time to go take the course and understand the weapon and the safety behind it, you know, yeah, I'll go do it. But for this year, especially like we talked with last episode, having to replace an air conditioner and, you know, the car needs new brakes and, you know, I don't have the extra couple $100 to go do those things. So they're kind of a luxury goal. You know, I focused on what I could control with, you know, keeping into exercising and whatnot, and reading more and learning, becoming more educated. And, you know, we stuck to the podcast pretty well, again, like the first 7-8 months, and then kind of trickled off toward the end. But
that's true.
You know,
you start having that summer break, get the vacation in the way, and then next thing you know, it's fall and trying to get things back together and just...
Yeah, I think the biggest one for me this year is just figuring out what I want to do with my life. I think... we've come
next 5 years,
and for
next
those
10 years,
for those
retirement
within the next year or two, I think is what I need to focus on first. Get that sorted out. For those of you who are listeners or viewers from the work realm, you know, I'm sure I've voiced this multiple times where accounting isn't necessarily what I want to do.
He wants to be a snack distributor.
I am a snack, so I will be distributing myself to the ladies in 2019.
Wow.
Anyway, so I want to figure out what I truly want to do for the next 1,000 years.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna be able to update or sync our consciousness into robots. So
yeah,
1,000 years.
Don't want to do accounting for 1,000 years.
Dude,
you know,
that would be the worst pain.
Would be unfortunate.
Sure, it would.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at this year. I think get a better understanding. I have an opportunity at work coming up after the summer, and we'll see how that pans out with possible HR and recruiting work, which I think my personality is pretty well suited for. So I think it would be a good opportunity for me to kind of get involved there. But we'll see how that all pans out.
I feel like you're making this a lot about yourself.
It is. It's all about me.
Yeah. Is this your shot of life or is it mine?
Well, it's my shot of life, technically.
Nice.
So that's all. That's all I got.
All I gotta say is NC State NCAA champions 2019.
Maybe not gonna happen. I think Duquesne will make the tournament this year.
That's possible. Well, you're not ranked 20th in the nation.
That's true. What's the new NCAA metric? I can't remember what the acronym is, but NC State was like top 10.
Yeah.
In whatever that
is.
It's
like net. Yeah. Net something.
NCAA efficiency something, or
is it net efficiency? Keep talking.
Nipple enema testicle.
Hey, I'm not editing this podcast, so start saying things that seem more appropriate than that.
Nice, easy talking.
What I'm trying to remember. I know what metric you're talking about, but I don't know what it represents. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Sure and I also haven't seen if we've gotten updated.
All right, let's take a quick segue here into the alcohol ranking. So we've got...
Oh, we're 13 now?
We've got Blanton's Original Single Barrel Bourbon Whiskey. Steven, I want you to rate this, and we'll see how close you come to how it was rated in the previous episode.
I feel like I know what it was last time. So I'm a little bit biased to give it the same score again.
What do you think it was?
I honestly, I think this episode, I'm getting like, if I were to review it fresh, I would give it a 4. But I think I give it a 4.25. No?
You gave it a 4.4.
Okay. Damn, I was real specific in the
Whose
tens.
Tribe Is It Anyway? Go check that out. Episode on tribalism, which is fantastic. From season 1. Go check that out. Steve rated, not to ruin it, but he rated the Blanton's Original Single Barrel Bourbon Whiskey.
Well, then now you're looking
4.4.
at your score, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but do you already have a new score with it?
No.
Do you have a fair score?
No.
All right, now
and I don't
I'm
know.
going to get the Men in Black thing and shock you real quick.
Again, maybe it's my lack of drinking in recent. I talked about this last episode that more for health purposes, I've kind of given up
Okay.
a lot of drinking. Not to be healthier or like less calories, more for like it just destroys my body in ways that it didn't used to. This tastes way better than I gave it a 4.6 last year. And I think I'm going to stick with that 4.6.
Yeah, that's a suck-up move right there.
But, I mean, I just feel like, I
just feel like I don't know what
really good.
I could say.
It tastes better than I remember it tasting. But
I feel like it tastes worse than I expected with the ice cube. Like, I don't know what it is with this ice cube or if it matters because, like, that water that
now
he has in his filter.
Now that I've taken my last sip, I do believe that
very
the ice cube was a little, like, I get a little bit of the freezer taste.
Yeah, I think that's our ice cube, or, our ice cubes in there. So that I blame some of the flavor on that. I've had certain drinks in the house that have caused that issue. And FYI, as of 30 days in 12/31, NC State is ranked 18th in the nation in basketball. So put your bets in at in Vegas for that. And might we keep in mind that Carolina is the only team in the top 25 that has 3 losses. Are you surprised with that, Vic? I won't even have to let you answer.
I mean, who are their losses to?
They're
They
pretty
probably
good teams.
have like at
They're
least
ranked
2.
teams. Kentucky.
You know how we've gone into the tiers now? You got
Kentucky,
tier 1
Texas,
to-
not ranked. But they beat in Michigan. They beat a 17 UCLA.
Yeah,
they beat a 4
Michigan's
Gonzaga
good.
pretty bad. So I don't know. It's a toss up.
NCAA evaluation tool is the new metric that the NCAA use. They have a team value index based on game results, factors the opponent, the location, and the winner. Gives them a team value index score, followed by net efficiency, offense minus defense equals net efficiency, winning percentage, wins divided by total games played, and then adjusted win percentage. Road win is a 1.4, neutral win is a 1.0, home win is a 0.6.
Even if you're playing a good team.
And then a road loss is a 0.6 minus. Neutral loss is a -1, and a home loss is a -1.4.
To be fair, we've only played 2 good teams, so.
Oh, and they did the quadrant thing again, which is cool.
Yeah, the 4
with,
quadrants.
Quality,
so they do like an
quality
additional
of wins and losses.
Here's my thing: is like who is establishing? I know we're going way off. We've already finished up our New Year's resolution, but who is establishing the rules for evaluating wins and losses? Like this has become an issue with updated statistics for baseball.
NC State is number 8 in the net rankings.
See, and I don't even know what that means. It doesn't. It basically means nothing right now.
They are 0-1 on the road, which is an adjusted metric. 2-0 in neutral sites and 10-0 at home.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? They've played 1 away game,
That was the Wisconsin game?
which
I think, right? Was it
probably which could
might
be?
be-
That might have been no, because it says their neutral is 2-0 and they lost to Wisconsin, so they must have
Okay,
lost
so
to
that had been-
Wisconsin at Wisconsin, which was a controversial loss.
That's true. There was a lot of
Blocking
Rough.
fouls.
a lot of silly calls.
Or a lot of
for
charging.
college. Yeah.
Or no, non-charge calls. A
Yeah.
lot of blocking fouls.
And it was a close game, and we had the game, most of the 40 minutes. Okay, so we won't bore you with that. But if you're interested in NC State talk, let us know. We'll talk about our opinion with state basketball, and tonight NC State football bowl game 7:30 tonight, ESPN.
That's right. Although by the time you hear this podcast,
It'll already be done.
it'll be over. NC State will
Your
have won
predictions, since we're gonna have this.
34-14. No, 34-26.
Whoa,
34
you get like a round number.
to 3. No, 11. Just 11.
That's just 11.
I'm taking the over, and I'm taking NC State to cover
What is
the
the over?
spread. 3.
It's gotta be 40.
I have no idea.
Playing Texas A&M. Big game. Saw that Clemson won this weekend, pretty sizable, and then I thought Alabama was going to walk away with it, but they got pretty scared there near the end of the game. But nonetheless, we see Clemson and Alabama again in the national championship for football.
Roll Tide.
No surprise. I'm expecting Alabama to win that game too.
Me too. Trevor Lawrence is going to show his true colors and get picked off like 3 times.
Is that the luscious hair guy?
Yeah, he's got some locks.
The L'Oreal. Okay, so idioms for idiots.
On today's episode of Idioms with Idiots, brought to you by Ben Stein's Money. We have to get bent out of shape,
That's
to get
what
upset,
it was.
to get angry.
Bent out of shape.
For an example, I'm not getting bent out of shape because people don't respect my opinion. I'm used to that.
So we're talking about why it, like where it came from? Or
Sure.
like bent out of shape.
Do you have any guesses as to where it came from?
I don't know. Bent out of shape. Out of shape, you haven't worked out. I get it. You're probably feeling, on the edge because you haven't eaten today or in the last 30 minutes because you're out of shape. I don't know. Pissy. Ticked off. Undies in a bundle, dude. How about that?
Undies in a bundle.
What's the other one?
I
It's
like that way better.
something about
Don't get your
panties in a bunch.
britches.
Panties in a bunch.
Yeah.
Undies in a bundle sounds way better.
Undies in a bundle.
No one's gonna get mad about that if you said that to him.
Okay, so it looks like the first uses we've got to get bent, which meant intoxicated. 1833, the year 1833 was the first usage there. Bent out of shape, intoxicated. Again, 1949. Bent out of shape to be upset, 1955. And then bent again to be upset, 1967. Now, we have a friend of ours who uses bent in quite a different manner.
Get bent?
Get bent, which is like...
F off.
Yeah. Get F'd.
Screw off.
Yeah. Which I appreciate his use better.
Does his name start with an E?
It sure does.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Good times. So that's that.
Bent out of shape. Let's get bent. Huh. So you're getting all up. You're kind of like over-exaggerating, right? That's the idea.
Yeah.
You're getting
Get upset.
You're getting upset over something small.
Maybe making a big deal about
Something.
another idiom, making a mountain out of a molehill. Kind of
Similar, yeah.
Similar in the sense that you're
Bent out of shape.
getting upset about
The
something.
actual term, I can't. You hear that? For all those who are at home who cannot see outside of the little frame that we've provided you, we have a little dog here who snores like the loudest human you can imagine. And he might be a little bit bent out of shape, or he might be just out of shape. We'll let you listen in. Nothing yet. Okay.
Of course, now he stopped.
Yeah, he must have heard us picking on him. Okay, so your understanding, if you can join those words together, bent like you're an old person who can't bend over, but you're bent and you're like, oh, and you're aching, and then that's another, out of shape. So then it makes you angry because you like have this pain going through your body. That has to be it, right? I hear him snoring again.
That's exactly where it came from. He's dreaming, dude. Look at him. He's moving like a weirdo. I think he's on to us.
He doesn't perform well under pressure.
No. Terrible. Take a lap.
He's asleep and he doesn't even want to do it. Okay. So what is your analysis, Vic?
That's it. That's all I got.
That's it. You gotta give me something. Give me something silly, man. What is I mean, like you read off the thing on the internet, but
That's what I read. Oh, my analysis of
your
bent out of shape?
personal
Like
analysis. Like where do you think it could have come from? Like how is it? It doesn't make any sense. Like bent out of shape. I know. I mean, obviously, it's hard to it's hard to isolate from what we already know.
I'm gonna say it was on a construction site, and someone was building something, and they put it together incorrectly, so it appeared, bent into a wrong shape, and so the contractor or the foreman, whoever was in charge, got all pissed off that, it didn't look the way it was supposed to, and he was bent out of shape. He was angry.
I was thinking like from a kid's standpoint, whenever they put little stars and squares inside their little, the blocks inside the toy thing, and he's left with one figure left, and there's nothing that fits on the device, and he just like you're saying, he kind of like molds it into what he wants, and then mom's like, no, you can't do that, and she's getting all upset, and she's like, you can't bend that out of the shape that you provided.
Unacceptable.
So it's got to be where it is. I think yours makes more sense because they didn't have those toys back in the 10
the olden days,
AD 20. But when they're building pyramids, and then the guy's like, I'm gonna build a triangle, and then you're like, no, I want you to build a square, and then he like bends the rocks. I don't even know how you bend a rock.
He's an earth bender.
Yeah, like Avatar.
Yep, there you go. The good Avatar, not the.
Is he what is his
crap
power?
Avatar.
Air.
He's an airbender, bruh.
Well, who's the?
He's the
Earthbender?
Avatar. I don't know who the earthbender
Who cares?
is.
What's the one that the show that started with
Korra.
a K? She's the earthbender.
No, she was a waterbender.
Really? What the fire? They should have made a fire one. I
forget
mean,
what
there's
his
like a
name
villain,
is.
but
Yeah, but he turns good.
really, that's lame.
He does. His sister is the evil one. Spoiler alert!
Well, what about the movie? Are they in it?
I don't know. No.
Dude, why? M. Night Shyamalan.
Schlamalanan.
Glass.
Steven, what have you got for me? We've gone over resolutions.
Resolutions?
We've checked out our Blanton's
What about
original
Rosé-lutions?
single barrel bourbon whiskey.
What about Rosé-lutions?
We
That's going to be at 12 o'clock
covered
tonight.
an idiom today with our resident idiots. We tried listening to
My
a
last
dog
thing-
snore.
Ineffective. My last thing is, what do you have lined up on your plate for TV? What did you watch this week? How about that? We'll recap what you watched this week. Let the viewers know what's out there.
I feel like I watched
outside of
a lot
The
of live
Office.
sports. Going to try
Yeah.
and continue to do that.
Okay? Can't pass that up.
And that is all I care about. Like I said, January is my Death Note month where I will rewatch the anime yet again.
Game
for
of
like
Thrones
the
comes
fifth
out.
time. Game of Thrones will be April of 2019. I have a friend of mine now who is currently starting from the beginning to watch
Aaron's
for the
doing
first
that.
time.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is her first time, and she texted me last night actually at like midnight and was like, I can't remember the exact text. It had something to do with like, I can't even, along those lines. And I
sure.
knew immediately
Way
what
to-
she was talking
Way to
about.
put her in that bucket like
Yeah,
that.
she was just like, wow. And I knew what she was talking about.
What about Big Little Lies season 2?
Don't know when that comes out, but I'll probably hack into my parents' HBO account in order to be able to watch that.
I'm a
Because
little
I don't
bit
have Hulu this year.
I don't feel like they should have made a season 2, but hey, it might be really
It
good.
ended in a way that a show should have ended,
Yeah, I
The
mean, I guess
season
they
one.
did have that kind of open-ended with the detective looking through the girls at the beach. They were fully nude.
Nice.
They were not
They were there with children.
fully nude. Is that a contradictory statement? Fully nude?
I don't think so.
Empty nude?
Sure.
No.
Yeah, I will watch television as it comes out.
Okay, so nothing big. You
Nothing
did nothing
officially
all week.
planned.
Didn't play. You didn't play BioShock for the third time.
Did not. I'm playing Vampire right now. Really solid game.
VAMPYR.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Really
PS4.
solid game. Good gameplay. A little bit repetitive in that you kind of have to like explore by talking to
Is
people.
that like Blood Rain?
I have no idea what that
Dude,
is.
go back and play Blood Rain.
But I just want to say, Vampire,
Don't watch the
I
movie.
only play first-person games, and this is a third-person game. Top quality, so surprise.
Okay, cool.
What about you, Steve?
Watch You. If you haven't seen it yet, pick it up. It's really good. I watched Bird Box this week. Hated it. Thought it was terrible. So tweet me. Tell me how stupid I am because I didn't understand all of the themes of the movie. I just
privilege.
Literally
White privilege.
no suspense. Love Sandra Bullock. Thought it was just everyone phoned it in.
Who?
Yep, exactly. And watched Vice this week, actually. I actually liked that movie. It was, if you were leaning on the right side of the aisle, you might think this movie was a hit piece, and it felt like a hit piece for sure. It painted Dick Cheney as like one of the most maybe power hungry. He seemed like a yes man for the most part, and then he kind of just
manipulative.
Yeah, he was like manipulated his way into to where he was at, and then abused his power. So there was that.
Dude, I'm all about it.
I've heard people who do reviews say that it was too humanizing for him, which he is a human. He is a guy.
It's because all the people writing the reviews are
more than likely have their own, I guess my thing was that he is you still want to understand his motivation, and you want to see him as a person and how he got to that point, because he doesn't start off as like the devil. No one does, I don't think. Something molds you into that. So it was a pretty good flow of events. The editing was a little bit choppy, some weird stuff. There was a credit scene halfway through the movie that made it seem like the movie was ending, and then it kind of restarted. So that was a little bit odd. There was a lot of what is it called whenever you compare two things that might seem the opposite of one another, or even two things that might become comparable, and then it's almost like you have a metaphor in the editing process. So like there's like a collapse going on in the government, and then you see like a collapse of cards, or you see a collapse of cups, or something spilled or whatever. It was a lot of that stuff too. So there was some clever stuff, also some just like over the top. So it was passable, entertaining for sure. But I think for a 2-hour movie, they may have missed some of the facts around there. But it is what it is. Not bad though. Great performances. Christian Bale was amazing. So check that out. I think that's all I got.
Cool.
Watch NC State tonight if you get in the podcast today, or
probably not.
Unless you really have nothing planned to do on New Year's Eve. Drink some Blantons. We highly recommend it. 4 on my side. Vic's throwing out the 4.6 because he looked up the score from last year.
That's right.
Obviously a cheater per usual.
Whoop, whoop.
And I think that's all we got.
And that's it. Feel free to reach out to us. Over.
Yeah, we had a tweet the other day.
We did.
Someone reached out to us on Twitter.
I like it. Good stuff.
I want
Making progress.
I don't want to say the names because I don't know if the person would feel comfortable with us saying it over the podcast. But hey, we
get into that.
Had a message. Felt pretty good. We responded back. We like to give back to the community. So if you enjoy the podcast and want to continue discussion offline, let us know.
Right on. And I am still in search
of a girlfriend.
Yes, that. And also, if you have any tips, tricks for visiting France and the UK, let me know. I'm going there, and I have nothing truly planned as of now. So reach out to us. That would be great. You can also reach out to us with ideas for future episodes and also different beverages to drink during our podcast. So we appreciate you guys listening to the podcast and subscribing to us on various platforms. Remember to do that on iTunes and SoundCloud as well, so you can stay up to date on all of our content. If you feel so inclined, go ahead and leave us a review. Give us a rating. Definitely helps to drive exposure in the market, which we need not desperately, but kind of desperately.
We
Don't
would like
forget
it. We would
to
enjoy
check
it.
out our website, myshotoflife.com, and also give us a follow on social media at myshotoflife on both Twitter and Instagram.
All right, that's it for us at the podcast. We're hoping the audio holds up this episode. So for screaming at you again, I'm sorry, but I think we tested it out. It sounds all right. So we enjoy you hanging out with us. Try to get one next week, I guess. We'll see if we can get one out there next week, and we'll continue it out the rest of the 2019 year. Have a not merry, but have a happy new year, and be safe tonight, guys.
Be safe. Don't drink and drive.
And always remember, drinks are better with friends. Yes, sir.